Hello everyone. We're going to get started here shortly. I'm just going to wait till the top of the hour, but thank you for being here, and I will get this thing started today. Thank you. All right, let's get this party started. Thank you for being here for traffic oxygen training on this beautiful September 12th, 2019. Can everybody hear me all right? Hi, Don. Hi, Kim. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming. Don, yeah, as you can probably tell, I'm still on the back end of this cold, but I am back in full action here. Just, I will try to keep the coughing to a minimum. As I'm sure all the parents can understand, I was given this gift by my beautiful 12-year-old daughter, the gift of bronchitis. But yeah, it's been a lot better the last couple of days. So I wanted to start off with the joke. This is just kind of a funny little meme that I found here. It just kind of sums up what we do and the crux of retargeting. This is a picture of a wife opening a gift from her husband. She said, "What a nice surprise this would have been if I hadn't been retargeted with ads for it nonstop since you shopped on our home computer." Um, so that's kind of funny. Kind of the gist of retargeting in a nutshell. So let's get started. Today I want to go over reporting with you guys. And I know that we've gone over reporting in the past a little bit on these webinars, but I've been getting quite a few questions from recently. And not only will this help you guys with your existing clients, but it will also help you when you're out there trying to generate new leads. Excuse me. And so it's always good to understand what's on the report, and you can possibly take some of these sample reports out there when you're trying to generate new leads and talk to new clients about what we do. So I kind of want to just start from the beginning. So this is just kind of an example. This is a little test thing that we have here on my portal, but this looks just like what you guys would see when you log into your accounts. So we will just start from here. So you log in and you see your whole little thing here, and then it'll have your name up here in the top left, and hopefully your beautiful face because you've uploaded an avatar. And then you'll come over here to this left column here, and you see list clients, and this will show you all of the clients and projects that you've entered into your traffic auction thus far. And so what I want to show you is there's two ways to get to your reports. We will just hang on there, hang on a few minutes while this loads. There we go. Okay, so the first way to get to a report would be to come down here to the settings button, and you see down here there's a little drop down menu and it says reports. So you can get to your reports that way, or you can go ahead and enter the projects. I'm going to hit edit here, and you guys may not have as many choices as I have here because I'm special. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. No, I'm just kidding. I just have admin privileges that you guys don't have. So once you get into here, you're seeing this is your main portal for this client in particular. And so the second way that you can get to your reports is to come over here to this action menu, and you see again here where it says see reports. Actually, there's three ways. Bonus. So the third way is over here on the right at just this basis screen. When you enter the project, there's a orange, yellow, depending on your shade of your eyes. There's a button here, and you click see reports. So let's go ahead and enter a report, and I'll kind of run through the gist of it for you, because there's really a certain slant that you should put on this when you're going over a report with a client or a prospective client. There's a couple of things that you should focus on more than others, and then there's a couple of ways that you can filter this report if there's things that you don't want to show a client or a prospective lead. And that could be your CPM. Maybe you don't want to show them how much you're paying for this service, which obviously you probably don't. The next thing could be, just maybe if they're not going to do geoconquesting, you leave the geoconquesting off the report just so that there's not questions about something that they're not going to use, things like that. So this is what the report looks like when you enter it. And again, these are all just kind of sample numbers. It's not really an active campaign. So what you're looking at here, the first screen that you're going to see is cost per period. Now this is really for you guys. This is letting you know what your CPM is. And your CPM is cost per 1,000 impressions served. And we always, especially on projects that I manage, I love to keep the CPM around $5. It's a very reasonable CPM where we can still win bids at a very competitive rate, and we can still keep your costs down, at a reasonable rate as well. So when you're working with, $500 of ad spend a month, you don't want to get too crazy with your CPM because you can sure burn through it quickly, if things get too high. But that's really not something that you guys need to worry about so much. That's something that us as your project managers are going to keep an eye on for you and constantly adjust. And so I don't want you to worry about that so much. But yeah, this first section, cost per period, is really for you guys to just kind of keep an eye on, okay, how much did we spend this month? How much is left in my budget? What's our CPM look like, and things like that. Key performance indicators is the next section here. So hopefully you guys can see my screen okay. Let me zoom in just a little bit. Okay, so next section here is key performance indicators. And this is where we're getting into things that are valid for the clients or for prospective leads and things like that. And really, I want you guys to remember one thing. We really wrote these summaries and these explanations down here almost like a script for you guys to read. So if you don't understand this, or you don't really feel confident in speaking to what these things are, just read it off, especially when you're talking to a client. You say this period you received 18,313 impressions and 436 clicks. Your effective click-through rate is 2.381%. So if you just kind of read like that, you're going to sound like a pro. And so we did our best to kind of make that read like a script, and that applies to all of these things here. So if you don't understand what delay plus click count is here, just reference down here to the script, and this is going to give you a detailed explanation of exactly what what that means, and really answer any questions that the client's going to have about what that is. Okay, so just keep that in mind. We try to make this as simple as possible for you when you guys are out there trying to speak on these things. When in doubt, just come down here and try and read what we've written for you. So back to key performance indicators. This is really the crux of what we do. And so you want to pay heavy attention to here. And so the first thing I would always I would focus on is your impressions. Really focus on, for the client, say, for this amount of money, for a absolutely reasonable CPM, whatever they're paying you per month, whatever you decide to charge them, you can say, we're going to give you 40,000 impressions a month, and you can always check with us or kind of do the math on your own. If I have a $5 CPM, I should be able to get 40,000 impressions for this much ad spend. And so you can kind of, usually, especially when I'm talking to you guys about what's most effective when you're trying to sell these things, is that you're saying, as soon as you throw that number out there, like, we're going to send 40,000 devices to your webpage, to your landing page. We're going to show your ad to 80,000 people, whatever that may be. But that's the things that's going to get your leads excited about this kind of program, and also give them a better understanding. Remember, we're called Traffic Oxygen. We exist to send them traffic to their web pages. So, we're not Conversion Oxygen. And so I would stay away from talking about you're going to get all these leads, you're going to get all this conversion, and really just focus on, we're going to show your ad, your brand is going to be in front of 50,000 people every month. And usually a client's eyes are going to light up. And so as long as you kind of focus on that, that's really the most important part of what we do, is getting the ads in front of people, bringing people to their landing page. And, past that, it's kind of, we lead the horses to the water, but we can't make them drink. And so that's really what your service that you're providing to them is. So first, obviously, is impressions. So you're going to let them know, and this is updated each month. And so what this is showing right now is it's just showing September. So from September 1st to September 12th. So you can say this month. And if you ever want to break this down by different months, show different time periods, you just come up here to this drop down menu, and you can go to previous month, you can go to today, yesterday, all, the entire length of the project, or a custom date range. So if you just wanted to see like the last 3 months, you could always break it down that way, and you would just enter your dates here. Very simple. So, let's go ahead and look at the previous month here. And these reports do take a little time when you change anything. If you change the effective dates or anything like that, there's a lot of information that this is compounding and calculating everything else. So there we go. So we're looking at August here. So if I was reporting to a client, I would say, for August, we had 42,886 impressions, 447 clicks, for a click-through rate of 1.042%, which, for cold traffic is knocking it out of the park. And again, look down here, you have a summary where you could just kind of read this like a script, say this is what it is. Now, when you're looking at this second row here, so these are pretty self-explanatory: impressions, clicks, click-through rate. The second thing here, post-click conversion. So again, what is a post-click conversion? Let's just look down here. Post-click conversions is counted when a user clicks on one of your banners and then ends up on your conversion page. So a couple of things with this to keep in mind. This will not track if they don't have a conversion page. So what's a conversion page? Well, you have a landing page, you have an ad somebody clicks on, that takes them to either a landing page or it takes them to the main website of the company that you're advertising for. Now, from there, they may have a form to fill out, or a book an appointment here, or a live chat thing or something like that. And only if there's a conversion page that they're taken to after they fill out the form, like a thank you page, then that's when these will start to be counted as, post-click conversions. Now, if you don't have a thank you page, that's fine. It's totally, not every business needs a thank you page. Some people just need a landing page. Some people just use their native website as their landing page. And so if that's not there, don't worry about it. Just, let them know we're not using a thank you page at this time, so there's no reason for this to populate. Same thing here. If you were to say post-view conversions, what is a post-view conversion? A post-view conversion is counted when a user is shown one of your banners but does not click on the banner. However, they end up on your conversion page. So say somebody was shown one of the ads through Traffic Oxygen, and then later they maybe got on Facebook and they got shown, they see another ad, or they look up that business on Facebook, or they pull up your website through Google, it's going to recognize that IP address, and then it's going to show up here as a post view conversion. So this is kind of a funny stat, but it would kind of lead you to believe that you left a impression on them. You made an impression on them enough that they searched for you after seeing the ad. And then devices tracked, this is only going to be populated when you're doing geoconquesting. And devices tracked speaks to how many devices we picked up at competitive locations and track them back to your home location. So that's key performance indicators in a nutshell. Let me take a look at the questions here and just make sure I'm not skipping anybody. Charles asks, hello Charles, do you suggest comparing the program to PPC? I mean, it's a lot different in a lot of ways, and we can tailor things the way that they want to. So I don't think it's a terrible comparison, but I think that we're kind of our own animal. Do you need pixelization for the tracking? Now, Don, your pixels are going to be set up when you set up the project. So as far as like your GTM and things like that being installed on the landing page, that's going to be set up for you. And then, it'll just be up to you or the client to get the code of the GTM installed in their landing page. So as far as the landing page goes, those pixels are set up for you. But if you want to go and have those post-click conversion things, then you would need to just let us know what your thank you page is. Let me show you very quickly how you would set that up. So when you guys are in any of your clients' pages right here, if you come down here and you look all the way at the bottom, you're going to see URL and then the conversion URL. So this is where you would install your thank you page if you have one. So you would just come over here to this pencil and you would put in, mine is Bobby's Burgers, and it's the thank you page. So that's where you would fill that in, just so you know. Okay, moving on down here to retargeting groups. This is where we keep track of all of your retargeting. And again, we're always going to run standard retargeting alongside all of your cold traffic ads and things like that, because obviously, why wouldn't you? And so this is keeping track of all of those kind of things. And again, you can just read this like a script. So I was going to create a little cheat sheet for you guys with some of the terminology here, but I would rather just get you all in the habit of coming here and going, wait, what is this again? Oh, that's right, I can just look down here. So all of your cheat sheets are already on the reports for you. Let me check a question here. Do I know if whatever tracks the post-click conversion tracking could include affiliate tracking? I believe we can do that, Jonathan. So that would just be something that a little bit of setting up with your project manager, but that shouldn't be a problem at all. It's not. What I'm saying is that it's not just a button that you could click, though. You just need to get on with me or Kendra or Heather, whoever your project manager may be, and we can help you set that up. Yeah, Charles, we are all definitely competing against Google. That is for sure. And so down here for retargeting group segments, this is where if you're doing geoconquesting, and so what we have in here is just kind of a bunch of examples. We're just kind of keeping an eye on Chase Field and Coors Field, and I believe this is old data anyways, since we created this sample. But this is what it would look like, and again, you get 10 geoconquesting locations included with your 350 data fee if you choose to do geoconquesting. So this is where we would see, we're picking up all of these devices. Obviously, we're not tracking them anywhere for this. So that's what it looks like for there. Down here in campaign details, this is where I think a lot of people get confused just about what these things mean and everything else. So what did we say earlier was the main focus? Impressions, click-through rate, and CPM, right? CPM and cost, those are for you. And then impressions, clicks, CTR, those are for your clients. So you would just, this is showing you what each campaign that we do. So, you know, we're going to have multiple campaigns running for each project that you guys have. We might have an audience group that's reaching out to certain types of people in specific places. You might have a hypermobile group targeting an event for one day. And so this is going to show you the performance of each campaign, how it did, how much money we've spent, you know, how many impressions, how many clicks it garnered. So this is really helpful, just keeping track of, okay, we ran this, you know, if you're advertising for a clothing store, you might say, okay, well, we advertised to teens all summer and that went really well, but then in September, that group, wow, really took a dive, you know, and you can analyze that more over here in these graphs. And this will kind of chart out the entire month for you, day by day, things like that. And so when you're looking at these graphs, and again, if you change the date span on the reporting, that'll change along with these graphs will change along with it. So instead of just showing you August, it'll show you last 3 months and things like that. But these are really helpful for you to just kind of keep track of, okay, we were running this campaign in the summer and it was great, but now it's really slowing down. The CTR is dropping, and so maybe we need to turn that off and adjust our strategy. And that's always going to kind of be something that your project manager keeps an eye on, but also, you know, just check in every now and then and kind of keep an eye, because, you know, strategies have to change and be adjusted and things like that. That's just kind of the nature of the business. And so the final section down here is your banner performance. And so you can look at all these banners, any banners that you're running for anything, and these are all just kind of, you know, things that we send out to agencies and things like that. But it'll show you the click-through rate for each individual banner, show you what that banner is called, the size, how it's performing, if it's on or if it's off, you know, anything like that. So that's kind of the gist of reporting and understand. I hope that makes sense for you guys. I know that there's you know, a couple of new people were looking at sample reports and going, I don't understand what this means, which I totally understand. There's a lot going on in these reports, but we try to give you guys all the information that you can possibly have, all the ammo that you need. And again, don't hesitate to just read from the script down here. And that, you know, we really tried to make it read that way. And, you know, just tell them, you know, this number is important because it shows how well your branding and awareness is working. You're going to sound like a pro. And so last thing about reports here that I want to show you guys is that you say, okay, this is great, Bert, but, you know, I don't want to show them the costs. I don't want to show them this or that. How do I get rid of that stuff? So a couple of different ways. If you click this export to PDF button up here, everybody see that? This is where you can come through here, excuse me, and exclude anything that you don't want to have on here. So maybe you just want to show this as a sample report and you don't want to put the name of the company out there. You can take that off. So as you can see, it removes that. If you want to take your cost per period off, you just click there and it will take that away. So now that's gone. See, your whole initial box here is costs. Let me zoom out a little bit and you guys can kind of see it disappear. So when I check that box, the cost portion disappears. And you can do that with any of these. And remember, anytime you take costs away up here, you also need to take away this cost per period graph as well. So now none of your costs or anything will be like that. They won't be on your report. And so this is more of a vanilla report that's ready to show the client, that's not going to give away. And, you know, obviously I'm not advocating hiding anything, but why would you want to show your client what you're paying us? You know, that just doesn't make sense. So, yeah, and then when you're ready, you can hit export to PDF, and this will give you a nice kind of tidy report that you can print out if you want to, or email to the client. You know, you come down here and it'll give you all the things that you've seen there, and anything that you didn't want to, any boxes that you unchecked will not be included on this. And so you can kind of go through it all. And again, even when you print this out, all of your script is all still here. So every single campaign type, all of that stuff is just completely summed up here and ready for you to just kind of read off to your clients. So that's how you export a report. That's how you take a lot of those things. Kurt, hi, this is Bert Jones. I'm not Chris, unfortunately. Wish it was every day. No, but I'll be happy to dive into geoconquesting probably next week, though. If I can get into it a little bit here at the end, I will do my best. But geoconquesting is kind of a in-depth conversation. So, the next thing I want to get to here, and I probably will be able to cover a little bit of that for you, Kurt, so hang in there. Okay, next thing I wanted to do is kind of let's go on a little adventure together here and look at some ads, because I know that it's fall and I know that it's slow out there for you guys. I talk to you every day, and I know that the struggle is real. And so I wanted to kind of look at some national websites, look at some ads, and we'll kind of critique them together and look at what's out there, what's running, everything else. So anybody who's ever been to Weather Channel, they show a lot of ads. So I figured that was a great place to start. So we'll kind of let all of the ads load in here. So the first couple of things that you're going to see typically, I have so many ad blockers that I have turned off that are all fiercely trying to protect me here. But first one that we see is Google or Geico. So we're gonna, we see a lot of national brands. Obviously, this Weather Channel in the middle of the day. So we see Geico right away. Then down here we see some more. This is all Geico. So Geico is bidding very high right now on this website. We see another one here for LendingTree. So this, as you can see, this is kind of a dynamic ad that they have here. Down here we have more Geico, Microsoft Surface. If we click on any of these real clickbaity kind of pages, you're going to see a lot of ads as well here. Actually, that just took us to a search page. But I wanted to show you, there were some ads on here earlier that were just awful, and I wanted to kind of go through them with you guys, but it looks like they got outbid. Okay, so here's one here. So it's good to kind of do this once in a while to kind of see what your clients are seeing. So when you come in here and you're looking at weather.com, we see UPS right at the top. You may lose sleep, just not over a package shipped now. Thing about UPS and national brands, guys, is they don't have to worry about what their branding says too much, or what their ads say, because people are going to click on it just because it's UPS, if they're looking to ship something. Now you see the Rams pickup. For these sides ads in the middle of the day, Charles, I would say these are $20, $30 CPMs right now, these national brandings. So these guys are paying thousands of dollars. Next one here, I'm just kind of letting these run through. We have one for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I desperately wanted to show you guys this one that was for a pizza place, because it was so awful. But it disappeared, dang it. So basically there was a local, and I wanted to kind of show you how smaller ones can sneak in here once in a while. So we're on a national website right now. This is weatherchannel.com. And so we're seeing obviously what you would expect. We're seeing State Farm, we're seeing Geico, seeing the Red Cross, Big Brothers Business. These are national multi-million, billion-dollar, organizations that have a lot of money to burn. But then, you kind of see every now and then you'll see a local ad. So where it was earlier, when it was right here, and it was for a local pizza place here in Arizona, and all it was a picture of a pizza, and it said, click here. And it was kind of it. And I was like, man, you guys got your shot. You were on the front page of weather.com and your ad was just a pizza and click here. So the reason I want to kind of bring that up is that it is possible for you guys to get on with these big boys, because the real-time bidding platforms are dynamic and they're on, minute to minute what these things are. So kind of see some of these things popping up here. They're, political type of things and stuff like that. But that's not a multi-billion-dollar, corporation that's advertising there. Those are smaller ones that can kind of sneak in. So it is possible for you guys, especially, down bottom of the fold, to get in here with some of these big guys, picking up these, with ads on these pages here. And so the point of that is that you want to really make sure that your ads are as good as they possibly can be. So even though we're looking, yeah, they do, Charles. It's not so much they allocate space for local ads in their algorithm, but they'll just take whatever they can get. And so as you can see, I'm not refreshing this page. These ads are refreshing on their own. And so these guys are going like by the minute with the real-time bidding platform. And so, even with these big guys that have tons of money, like Home Depot, whoever's doing their advertising, they might say, I want one big ad every 30 minutes on this page. And that's because, they're working with multi-million-dollar budgets. And so they're not going to be bidding on every single impression. And so that's when we can kind of sneak in there with local ads, or smaller ads, is that they're not going to be bidding on every single impression that happens throughout the day. They're probably on a timer, like, I want to be in the rotation for all of these. And so what you can do is, if we're just bidding, at a reasonable rate, maybe if we're trying to get onto bigger sites, we go up to maybe a $10 CPM on the busiest days of the week. That's how you can slide in here and get your ads on there. So see, we're going through this, and this is just kind of constantly refreshing with Hertz. And, not all websites work this way, but I just wanted to show you weather.com because they show a lot of ads. So let me look here. Okay, Mark, I'll respond to you later because you said privately. So let me look. So on that page, you could have a $20 CPM and a $5 CPM. Yes, Charles. So that's kind of how the real-time bidding works. So, every 3 minutes, when Google or Geico or Red Cross or these big companies come in, they're going to come in with their big bids because they're not getting outbid. They're getting their ads on these sites. And so they're going to come in with their $30, $20, $30, $40 CPM bids, and they're going to win. But then in 30 seconds, there's going to be another round of bidding, and they're not going to bid again because they just won. So see, does that make sense? So depending on what their frequency cap is, that's how we can jump in, right behind them, that, okay, GMC, Geico, and Red Cross all just won. And so now the next round of rotation for these ads is kind of open to everybody. Because so it could be $5 CPM for this round of bidding, $40 CPM for this bidding. Yeah, it's absolutely organized chaos. Perfect description. But it does kind of show you guys how you can sneak in there even on a smaller budget. So yeah, I wish that pizza ad would pop back up because it was such a perfect example of just such a missed opportunity, and a mistake that I don't want you guys to make. So just kind of keep them, stop looking for that now, but just kind of keep that in mind, you guys, that it's so great to make sure that you have really good ads just for, the off chance that you're going to get in there. And with all of your guys' campaigns, unless we exclude any websites, at your request, we're going to be bidding on all those kind of websites. Any place that shows ads. CNN shows a lot of ads. I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, but we don't get political here, Traffic Docs. We just want to make money, right? But they show a lot of ads on CNN.com. So you can come down here. They show a lot of native ads for their own programming, things like that. But I want to kind of go to some of these clickbaity sites because, man, they show a lot of ads. Yeah, these are all just kind of paid search things, different from what we do. Here, can you name these 1980s icons? Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of them. But those aren't really the websites that we're after anyway. So let me look at a question here. Right? Yeah, there's a lot of, we almost went down a rabbit hole there with the internet. Mark, let me look at your question here. After the name of the location, the first number of the advertising ID is entered. Yeah, I'll just reach out to you afterwards, Mark, so I can give you kind of a more detailed answer. Okay, so let me go through a really quick kind of explanation for Kurt of what geoconquesting is. I was actually going to cover this anyways for you guys. Hang on, let me look at one thing really quickly here. So this is something that I was showing to a prospective client the other day. No, I was working on this with Charles. Charles is here. So I just kind of wanted to show you a difference between geoconquesting and regular kind of hypermobile targeting, things like that. But of course, now I am not seeing what I'm looking for. I deviated from the plan. Okay, so first thing I want to show you here is this is kind of the old way of targeting. And Charles, I hope you don't mind me showing this, but this is the old way of targeting. So when you would look at a location, you would just kind of have a big radius here. And in order to even get any kind of a capture rate, most places that are doing this kind of advertising are going to have to expand their geofence to like 200 meters. And so we have to expand this. So if you can see here, oh, sorry, this shop is a tiny little shop that's right here in the middle of this area. And in order to even get the satellites to show us results, we have to expand this to 200 meters. This is the old technology that we're not using anymore. So this is something that you can show just kind of as a great comparison to old tech compared to new tech. And I want to shout out to Charles because Charles helped us bring this new tech to our attention and kind of help us acquire it for you guys. So the point I'm bringing this up is what we wanted to do here was target a tiny little shop that was right here that has, you know, a few hundred, maybe 1,000 people that come in through the doors every day, or I'm sorry, every week, every month. And what we're seeing here is we see 16,100 devices with the potential of 92 million impressions. Now, that's a lot of wasted money because we were trying to show ads to people that enter this little shop, and instead we're showing ads to 6 square blocks of people. So what a waste. You know, we're showing ads to the wrong people. We're showing ads to you know, a bunch of random people that, you know, this was a cannabis shop that we were searching for here. And so we would be showing cannabis ads to all of these people in this entire neighborhood, the way that would go. So in a way, this looks great. You would pick up this location and you would show your customer, oh, we're going to show $16,000. You know, we're show 16,000 devices this month and we're going to have 92 million impressions, which sounds great, but it's first of all, it's against the law in the cannabis industry, and second of all, it's such a waste of impressions. And so the new tech that we have now, this is going to be a kind of a startling drop, but you got to think of it in terms of quality over quantity. So with this new technology, we're able to draw polygons. There's no more circling entire neighborhoods, you know, and everything else. So what we've identified here is, you know, Charles did his homework and found out this is exactly where this shop is. I mean, these are the precise dimensions as, you know, as drawn by the architect. And so we went in and we drew a polygon around just this shop. We're not getting the parking lot. We're not getting any of the adjacent buildings. We're getting only people that enter the shop, and we're down to 146 devices for a month. Now, that might not seem, oh, I'm sorry, that's for 2 months, but that might not seem like a lot. You might say, oh, I liked it better when it was 16,000. You know, I liked it better when it was 16,000 devices rather than when it was 146. But no, that's not the way you should think of it. Think of it this way, and when you're showing it to clients, tell them this is 146 guaranteed customers. These are people who were in the cannabis shop, or they were in the restaurant, they were in the clothing store. You know, they were 100% in there. They weren't walking by out front. They weren't waiting in the car while somebody else were in there. These are devices of people who are actively searching or shopping for this product. And so you're going to show that ad to 146 devices, but they're the best, absolute best devices. I mean, it's like you want to talk about hyper-focused targeting. And so that's an advantage that we have over pretty much everybody else. If somebody else can show polygons, yes, Jonathan, polygons are for conquesting. Absolutely. And so, yeah, that's kind of the advantage that we have right now. And so you would say, listen, we're going to target these 10 shops. And when you target 10 shops and they have 150 devices at each one, that's going to add up as well. So that's a huge advantage. And you can just talk to your people about, I'm going to use your money. I'm going to use your ad spend in the most efficient way possible to target only the best customers that we can possibly find. None of these other people, I could open up this radius and I could make this look great and say, oh, there's going to be 5,000 devices in here, but we're also getting the Boom Boom Clinic and we're getting the Upfront Bar and Grill. We would be getting all of these things that are just nonsense. And so our Polygon technology really, really is a huge advantage for you guys. And so if you ever need those numbers pulled, we can pull those in advance of a project. We can pull these like a look back as well, after. So if there's an event that's already happened, we can go ahead and drop a polygon on it. If you want to target Bonnaroo or I don't even know I'm not cool anymore, I'm too young. What is it, Coachella? But yeah, if you wanted to target any of those things like that, you can absolutely do it. How do I set up a manual campaign with that geoframe via the platform? You would just contact a project manager and Kurt, and then we would help you get it started. So, and when you enter a project into the system, there's going to be a box that says want geoconquesting when you're setting up a new project. So if you want geoconquesting, you would just check that box and then give us your locations, and your project manager is gonna go in and draw these polygons for you and make sure. So yeah, and again, these numbers are going to increase. One of the things that we're looking at here, sometimes the number of devices and everything else can be affected by cell coverage and everything else. One interesting thing that's happening this year that I'm going to cover next week in the training, because I'm still testing it, but Verizon, it started with Verizon, but I don't know if we have any football fans here, but Verizon has started a pilot program where they installed 5G into 13 NFL stadiums. And so, that's next level technology, and everybody knows that the cell service at big events like that is usually terrible. So they're testing out in 13 stadiums to do 5G. We've targeted some stadiums in the past. I know you saw on that sample report some of our sample targetings, and it wasn't very good in the past. Where these stadiums have 50,000 people in them, and we were picking up a few thousand devices, and that's just a result of shoddy cell service and things like that. But with this new 5G, I'm going to be running some tests and see how our coverage looks like at these new stadiums and things like that. And then we may be creating some special offers for those audiences as well. Charles, the way I understand it is that's going to be kind of a Wi-Fi thing, because I know that they know that nobody has the 5G yet, and so it's some kind of like a special thing that you can log on to it with your Wi-Fi. I'm not sure exactly how it works. I haven't been to a game yet. But yeah, there's a whole thing that they're doing to get people on board with the 5G. I'm sure it's all just a plot to sell a bunch of 5G phones later on in the year, but that's all right. So yeah, Don, don't worry about being in Canada. You won't be able to geoconquest in Canada, but we'll still be able to do a lot of these different things for you as far as the super focused targetings and things like that. And we can always do lookbacks, hypermobile, retargeting, audience campaigns. So really, geoconquesting is the only thing that is not available to you in Canada. But we can still absolutely run effective campaigns you know, even without having that at your disposal. So don't worry about that. All right. So yeah, I'll get back to you guys next week about the 5G experiment, kind of see if we can get, because if we could get access to those huge audiences, you know, if you have any clients that are selling something that would appeal to a very specific group of people, you know, like NFL fans and things like that, we'll certainly make that available to you guys. So if there are no more questions, I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. Thank you guys all so much for coming. Okay, what are the minimum amount of banners and their sizes needed for cold versus retargeting campaign? Let me put a link for you, Kurt, to our training and resources page, which will go through all the banner sizes that we accept. So typically we would ask for 3 banners, and it would be the most common sizes are like the 300 by 250. There's a 728 by 90, and I think a 300 by 600, something like that. But I'll double check that for you and send you a link. But typically we like to see 3 banners and in those 3 different sizes, and basically it's like the header, the main banner, and then a side runner. And so those should always be animated GIFs or GIFs. And typically, you know, you'll have 2 or 3 rotating slides in there, some kind of an offer, something like that. But that's what we recommend, Kurt, is that you start with 3 banners, and that way you don't want to run too many banners for a specific campaign, you know, because you kind of muddy the waters and it's kind of hard to keep track of. Wait, the campaign was doing well with this set of banners and we added 5 more and now I'm not sure what was working and what wasn't. So it's always good to use that. Mark, one thing that I've used when I'm trying to, that's perfect, Kurt, thank you. Mark, I use a website called Canva. We're not affiliated with them in any way, shape, or form. It's just kind of something that I like to use. Canva is a website that's really great for creating banners. They have a lot of templates and things like that that you can use, and it's pretty affordable, and I think it's $5 a month or something like that for the base subscription. But that's a great resource. You can also use, if you're proficient in Photoshop and you know you feel like you can do it, if all you really have to do is put in the dimensions of, you know, 300 by 250 and then plug in some images and an offer, something like that. But that would just kind of be, depend on your level of proficiency. So there's kind of, you know, the easiest way would be to use a service like Canva, and the most cost efficient way for you, but it would require more work, would be to use Photoshop, you know, something like that. I'm sure there's something in between those 2 extremes. So just search online a little bit, and remember that we're always happy to create banners for you guys as well. You would get a set, which would be 3 to 6 banners, depending on what you wanted, and it would be $150 for a set. So, all right, guys. Well, I thank you so much for attending. We will make sure that we get this uploaded to the training and resources page for anybody that needs to rewatch it. And I'm going to post the, let me go here. When I say the training and resources page, you guys can always access that in your dashboard here. Just go over here to training and resources. This is where the webinars are uploaded. This is how you can upload them. And then over here, these banner creation options, banner sizes, all of that stuff is right here, Kurt. So I'm going to send that link out to everybody. And so there you guys go. Okay, Charles, I may have missed a question from there, but I'll give you a call within the hours here, and we'll kind of touch base and make sure that we're got everything good. All right, and Don, I'm going to give you a call as well, buddy. Thank you so much for hanging in there, and thank you all for coming this week. I appreciate you. We will talk next week, and I'm going to have some exciting stuff for you, hopefully. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful day. I appreciate each and every one of you.